Okay, this will be for the con assignment, area of a circle. So the formula for area of a circle, the area equals pi times r squared. If you recall in the last section, we're using the approximation for pi. That's 3.14. Okay, also recall that the diameter equals 2 times the radius. Okay, so if you need to solve for the radius r, just divide both sides by 2, and the 2's cancel, and the radius equals the diameter divided by 2. Okay, so you will need to use this formula for the con assignment. You just take half of the diameter to get the radius. Okay, so here they're asking what is the area of the circle, and we're given the diameter d. Okay, so we just said that the area equals pi r squared. Okay, but we need r for the formula. So since we have d equals 8, remember that r is just d divided by 2. Okay, so we said the diameter is 8 divided by 2, that's going to be 4. Alright, so the radius we're using is 4. Alright, and for the area, we said pi is 3.14, and r squared is going to be 4 squared. So 4 squared equals 4 times 4, that's 16. And that whole thing is going to be 50.24. And you just put that number in the box. Okay, now for this section, they give you the option to enter your answer in terms of pi. Okay, so if you want to leave pi alone and avoid using 3.14, you can do that. Okay, so just as a separate way of doing this, alright, your pi r squared, you can just leave pi as is and do 4 squared for r squared. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16, and we still have pi. So you could also enter 16 pi in a box if you like. Okay, when you enter the number in the box, alright, it won't let me do it now, but there's a thing that pops up below and you can hit the pi key. Or another thing you can do is just type pi for pi. So for 16 pi, you can just write 16 pi, and it will take it as 16 pi if you want to use that shortcut. Okay, find the area of the circle with radius 8. So we said area equals pi r squared. Okay, we said pi was 3.14. And the radius r equals 8, so that's going to be 8 squared. Okay, so that's 3.14 times 64. Or you can just enter this whole thing in the calculator. Just make sure you only square the 8 and not the 3.14. And that's 200.96. And just enter that in the box. Okay, if you want to use the shortcut, it would have been pi times r squared, which is 8 squared, and that would just be pi times 64, which is just 64 pi. So either one of those answers work. I want to show you 64 pi works. So I'm going to type 64 pi, and it makes it pi. Okay? Here they want to find the area of the circle with circumference of 12.56. Okay, remember for area, area equals pi r squared, and for area you need the radius r. So we need to find the radius from the circumference. Okay, so we remember last time that circumference equals 2 pi r. Okay, and they said the circumference is 12.56, that's C. We have 2, pi is 3.14, and we have r. Two times 3.14 is 6.28, and we have r. Solving for r, just divide both sides by 6.28, and it should come out to an even whole number with no decimal. Okay, 6.28 over 6.28 cancels. Do this on the calculator, and you get 2. So we're using r equals 2 in the area formula. Okay, so you just take that and you plug it in. Area equals pi, which is 3.14, times r squared, that's going to be 2 squared. Using the calculator, I get 12.56. Okay, and of course you could have also used a shortcut. R squared is 4, so it just would have been 4 pi, and you could have typed in 4 pi in the box, it would have worked. Okay, they want the area of the circle. The diameter equals 2, and we know the radius is just the diameter divided by 2, so d equals 2, and our radius is going to be 1. Okay, so we use that for the area, pi r squared. I'm just going to do the shortcut this time and leave pi alone. R squared is just going to be 1 squared. And 1 times 1 is just 1. So that just equals pi. So all you have to do is type pi, and it makes it pi. Or you can click the pi right here. Okay, if you didn't use the shortcut, it would have been 3.14. So let me skip this one. I'll do it real quick. The area, pi r squared. R squared is 1 times pi is just pi. Okay. Last one. They want us to find the area when the circumference is 31.4. Okay, remember for the area formula, we need r. Okay, so we need to find the radius r from the circumference. Alright, so when they give you the circumference, you have to work backwards. The formula for circumference is 2 pi r. They gave us their circumference C. That's 31.4. And that equals 2 times 3.14 times r. 2 times 3.14 is 6.28. And that's times r. Solving for r, we divide both sides by 6.28. And on the calculator, this is 5. And on the right, the 6.28's cancel. So we're going to use r equals 5. And from this point, it's easy. The area is going to be pi times 5 squared, which equals pi times 25, which is just 25 pi. So I'm going to enter 25 pi. Okay, and if you didn't want to use the shortcut, you would just do 25 times 3.14, and that's 78.5. So either one of these answers would have worked.